Hi everybody, welcome back to our podcast, Just Legal. We're happy that you're tuned in today. With me I have two beautiful ladies. I'll let them introduce themselves.
Hi everyone, my name is Linda Chumandiwa. I'm a clinical psychologist and a practicing psychotherapist. I guess as we continue the conversation, we'll get to know more about what that is.
Hi everyone, and thank you for the invite. I am Teresa Mdengani. I am a strength coach. I am a mobility and flexibility coach. I work with women and men above the age of 40, and I'm very pleased to be here.
Karibuni sana. My name is Terry. I'll be your host today. Maybe I'll start with Teresa. Tell us what your work entails. What is it that you do with this over 40-year-olds? And can I come if I'm under 40?
Yes, you can. So what we do is, my aspect or my idea about fitness is what it means for you as you age.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to be 45 and not being able to zip your own dress because who has the time to call people to zip for them?
Yes.
You don't want to be 50 and you have to hustle your kids to come and do your shoelace because why not? And you don't have to be like my mom, the remote is here. Teresa! Bring me the remote. So mine is to just make sure that you're living fully, enjoying every phase you are at. If you look good in the process, even better. Why not? Why not? So I work with over 40s mostly because they tend to have gotten to this stage of life where I have done it all. I've done all the fads, I've chased all the goals I needed to chase. Now I need to take care of me. And it becomes a bit more wholesome. When I tell you to breathe, it's easier for you to actually breathe and feel yourself breathing. When you're like 28, I tell you to breathe, you're like... So it's a fight. So it's not like I like the easy. It's just that at that particular age, people have come back to themselves, and it is an easier journey for them, and it's easy to keep a track of what they're doing. I do have some under 40s, not a lot, but I do have some, and those are people who actually arrived 40 before they knew they were 40. Not in terms of their bodies, but their minds are quite there. They're committed to the journey, they're committed to themselves. And in as much as we are chasing aesthetics because everybody wants to look good, there is also the appreciation that I will not look exactly what I want to look at in 10 minutes or
it's a process.
in 2 months. You understand there's a process and you have to invest in it, your time, your money, and yourself. And just giving you that break from kids. I mean,
hey, who doesn't want that?
The idea of fitness completely changes when you hit a particular age. It completely changes. Initially, it's about fitting into a cloth. And then you're 40 and you probably have children at this age. You're like, oh my gosh, in 3 years my child will be 15.
Now you
will
look
they
at
be
life
embarrassed
like
to walk with me?
Yes.
No, I don't want my child to be embarrassed to walk with me, or even say I am their mom. I want them to be proud of that, but I mostly want them to know when you're 40, it doesn't mean
life is, you know, people say at 40 your life is just beginning.
It's just starting.
You will need the body to look like it's also
You do need it.
Maybe Linda, you can tell us what your work entails, and then we'll pick it up from there.
So thank you, Terry, and thank you, Just Legal, for giving us a chance to also be here. So I am a clinical psychologist by training, and a clinical psychologist is a mental health practitioner. So we deal with mental illnesses and matters mental health and well-being. So being a practicing psychotherapist, I do therapy. I'm a therapist. Guys, therapists exist. I'm a therapist. And I support mental health issues, whichever kind. Mental illnesses, mental issues, whether be it at work spaces, at home, in relationships, be it, name it. Mental health is broad. So that's what I do. I offer therapy. So as a way of managing your mental health, I use therapy, which is basically talk. So you come, we talk, we iron out these issues, we have a conversation about it, we figure a way out. out of your situation or what you're dealing with. So basically that's what I do.
Therapy now is, you know, like everyone is like, I'm in therapy, or you need to do therapy. It's a conversation that's happening a lot. I'm sure you guys have had that, right? And for you, obviously.
Yeah, I'm so happy now.
Yeah, so maybe what I wanted to understand is, what would you say the nature of your client would be like? Of, you know, how do you get to a place? Would you say that I need to get to a place where I feel like I'm not okay, or should I just, or should we all, do you think we all need therapy is what I'm asking?
Yeah. I want to ascertain and assert that it's important all of us go through therapy as a form of self-care. And I know there's also this whole, you know, aspect and excitement about self-care now, and it's not about making my nails and going to the spa and you know, and maybe having a drink or two with a friend of yours. It really is about learning who you are, because as human beings we evolve, we grow, and as we continue to evolve and grow, there are so many aspects of ourselves that we don't understand, that we realize maybe we neglected, that we realize maybe in our childhood we were hurt, or we went through a situation that now is affecting us in our adulthood. So I feel like therapy is definitely for everybody. Child, man, woman, child, old person, whoever, human. Human, you need therapy. And it's my clientele, unfortunately, because I'm a clinical psychologist, is in the clinical area space.
What do you mean by that?
What I mean by that, I deal with mental illnesses. Yeah,
maybe
specifically.
if you could give us an example of a few of those.
So mental illnesses, when I talk about mental illnesses, are things like bipolar, schizophrenia, you know, depression, anxiety issues, the ones that can clinically be diagnosed. Yeah, they are clinically diagnosed, and therefore you need medication first to deal with the symptoms, then come for therapy to manage and to push forward. For my training, I am more inclined to the clinical area. However, therapy is vast, so it's not really the clinical area. I can go to schools, we can be in the corporate spaces, we can be at homes, we can do couple therapy, we can do group therapy, we can do addiction counseling and therapy. So it's a wide area, and you would be surprised that you'll find yourself in one of those spaces, in one of those categories. Therefore, that's why I feel like it's needed for
It's
all
really
of us.
very important, because even in fitness, one of the things that people keep saying, and which keeps me putting my hands in my pocket, yes, I misuse them, is that gym is therapy. It does contribute to your well-being, but it's not therapy. You really cannot go to shift around weights and say you're offering yourself therapy. No, you need a therapist. There are issues we have grown up with or are dealing with. The gym only enhances, helps you to focus more on yourself. It actually should help you become more aware of those issues. So for example, if you have deep-seated anger issues and you probably never thought of it that way, and in a gym, it's a community place, it's a place where you're sharing space with other people, and you find people coming into your space and you find yourself getting angry at that, you're now more aware that you become angry at every time anyone comes into your personal space. Then seek therapy, so that when they come into your personal space in a gym, you're not caught between hitting them and hitting your reps.
I wanted to understand, Teresa, I know people, you've talked about the gym, and people just normally are like, you know, I'm going to the gym, I have a trainer. Everyone assumes it's only weights. What else is there? Are there different types of fitness coaches, and what does that look like? And from like where you're sitting, what is it that you do with your clients?
There's a whole lot more you can do at the gym, including just going and sleeping there. Because I don't know why. But what I do, and the many aspects of fitness. We have people who love crossfitting very much, and so they will go to a CrossFit gym. There are people who really love yoga and the whole Zen meditation thing. They will go and do that. There are people who really enjoy dancing, and there are dance classes held at a gym, so they'll go and do that. But then there are others, you do want to feel good about yourself. You do want to move better. Like you're not able to reach at the back of your head with your hand, and you want to be able to do that. But you also want to be strong enough to carry your child. There's also space for that, and that is the space I occupy.
Great.
And just to a little story, background story, when I kicked off my very first online client, and this is thanks to COVID, as we were talking through what her goals were in terms of fitness, she said she just really wants to play with her kids. She wants to be able to sit on a couch like every young child does, and then comes and sits on their feet, and then she's able to swing them like that. She just wants to be able to do that for her kids. And she wants to be able to sit and not wake up wondering, why is my back in so much pain? Is it because of this pregnancy? Is it because of that? Is that because I lifted something? She just wants to move without remembering I have a back, just like you don't remember you have a hand. And so for me, when I started off with her, initially, it's not about you looking a particular way, even though the goals are there. Initially, it is about, can you move better? Can you feel better? Is your back in pain? No. Are you able to play with your child or not? So I deliver that. Once you are able to play with your child, and you completely forget you have a back,
then now you work on that.
Then let's talk about these trousers not fitting well. But initially, it has to be about you moving better, you feeling better, you being better as a person. My motto normally has always been, movement is freedom. And that is because you really don't know how hard it is until you can't touch your toes. And you really need to touch your toes. You do need to touch your toes. So when you experience the feeling of touching your toes for the first time in a gazillion years, you're like, wow,
they can be touched.
Wow, they can be touched. They're actually mine. I confirm they're mine. And there's no pain involved in that. Mine is to make sure you're living a pain-free life as much as possible. If you have had previous injuries, accidents, you're able to go back somewhat and do some activities. You shouldn't be docile just because you've had accidents and stuff, and just because you've given birth to 5 children, it doesn't mean you should just ideally live in pain. We own pain. I hate it. I don't know why people say pain is gain. It is not. It is not really. So just live. If you're a corporate person and yours is to go to the office and work, I want you to be able to strut your heels. Go to work, put in your work, come back home feeling okay. Not getting out of the office and going like, when will I get to the house and get these things off me? You know, it doesn't have to be such a battle. It doesn't have to be.
Thank you for that. I think what I've picked from that is, number one, you don't have to be, it's not a reason for seeking self-care and, you know, going to the gym for yourself. It doesn't need to be complicated. It could be as simple as, I want to pick up my baby. You've talked about corporate, you know, somebody working in a corporate space, and I'm interested to find out how it is, whether you guys are employed currently. How do you do what you do? In what setting do you do what it is that you do? Maybe you can walk us through that journey.
Maybe I can walk you through that. Initially I was in the public service. I was in a hospital, and I worked there for a couple of years. And maybe it's unfortunate or fortunately, now in retrospect, I feel like that probably is a fortunate thing that happened. I got fired from that job.
It happens.
Yeah, it happens. And you know, now this is a safe space.
Yes, please.
We can talk about these things. So I got fired from that job. Why? Because I wanted to increase my capacity by going to school and getting my master's. So that's
your
a
boss
story.
Wouldn't take that?
Yes, that's a story for another day.
Maybe needs therapy.
And just toxic work environments could be a topic for just legal.
Next time, yes.
And we could maybe just unpack that a little bit more. So I think after that, I feel like I was forced to go into private practice, to start up my own thing. And as I moved into that space, and I'm still work in progress, I don't want to say I've reached there. As I moved into that space, I realized there were so many opportunities, there were so many gaps, there were so many areas that needed someone like me. Yeah. So I moved into that area and I opened that space to enable people to understand mental health and mental well-being, and to offer therapy in a conducive, safe environment without feeling stigmatized, without feeling like there's something wrong with me, without feeling like I have to hide because I cannot get out of bed in the morning. I cannot move my body even one. I take like a whole 3 hours to just shift from point A to B. And that is not a fitness problem, that's a mental problem. Yes. So I wanted to create those safe spaces, and that's what I did. I moved into that, and the more I have moved into it, the more the needs have continued to come up and come up and come up, and now I want to start a group practice because I can no longer do it by myself. So I now need help. Initially I used to do it by myself, but I'm now moving into
you're
a
going to create employment
and
grow your business.
Yes,
wonderful.
I'm going to do all that, and it's a wonderful space to be in. And so I made my adversity of being fired and losing a job into
something
an
beautiful.
Opportunity.
Wonderful.
And you know, someone once said that adversity introduces a man to himself.
Wow.
So if I did not, if I did not go through that, I wouldn't know that I would have the capacity to be in my own space and influence lives and people in that capacity as a therapist. And it's amazing, to say the least.
Wonderful. And for
I
you,
feel
Teresa?
like I've just been photocopied. Funny that you should ask that, T, and really nice to hear your story, because I have worked at desk for 18 years of my life.
Wow.
And that was quite something. And yes, I did view myself at some point wanting to do something a bit more independent, a bit more for myself, a bit more following through my call. But I didn't know when it was going to come. And then suddenly it came. And I remember telling a few of my clients, I'll be a bit more available next year. Would you like a slot at 12 noon? Just to have a think through what that meant. So I worked in an international school for 18 years. At the point of my exit, I was head of admissions and admin. So basically, I was the jack of all trades in the school. Someone needs something in the middle of the night, it's I to be called. Someone needs something to be done, it's I to be asked how and stuff like that. And I've seen the growth of that institute, and because it's not where I found it.
I can imagine. 18 years.
In terms of numbers. So I had always said, it had always been a prayer of mine, that when we hit up, we have, you know, those milestones that nobody has ever hit. So for me, I had a milestone. I had a target of 740 pupils within the primary section of the school where I was. And we'd never been there, not in all the years since inception of the school. And I said, you know what? When I hit 740 pupils, I promised myself I'm quitting.
And that is a specific number.
I was very, very, very specific. I was very, very specific. And when we started off 2022-2023 academic year, I could just feel this drive. I'm like, I'm working throughout. I'm not feeling tired. I'm excited. It's like you can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and you really don't understand what that is. So I kept on going. I kept on going, I kept on reaching, I kept on aiming. And then beginning of 2023, 2024, I went like, oh, that number could actually go to 750. Such a dream to chase, but I left it at that. So in August 2023, when we were going into a long period of holiday, I looked at those numbers as I was taking my 2 weeks off. I looked at those numbers. I was so scared.
Yeah.
Because the numbers
the
were
realization.
exactly what I
Yeah.
wanted. It's the realization, oh, yikes, I might have
need to
just jinxed
leave.
myself.
Yeah.
What am I going to do with my
Yeah.
life now? What
Yeah.
other goal is there to chase?
Yeah.
So as I went on leave, actually the thought at that particular point was, now I've hit 740.
What next?
And I'm looking around
Yeah.
in that admin space. There was absolutely nothing else.
Yeah.
You cannot convince
No direction to grow
There was
to.
not even growth. I'm sure if they wanted to create a space for me to grow, they would have.
Yeah.
If I asked for it, it would have been there.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I got a call from my boss just a week ago asking me to go into a different capacity. So there definitely were rooms for growth. But I've just hit a mark of something I wanted, and I'm not sure I want to be in that space anymore.
Yeah, it's time to
So
go in a different direction.
I decided to step out. So at that particular point, I had not thought through anything.
By the time you were leaving?
Yeah, I hadn't thought about anything.
Yeah.
I was just like, this is an ocean, I'm going to swim.
Yeah.
That's it.
You're the brave ones.
The outliers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 4 months down, so I officially started in January now.
Yeah.
And 4 months down, this is the 4th month.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm so blessed. This is such a space I want to occupy.
Yeah.
Because in those months, I have met at least 3 clients and who came to me because they have had to live on painkillers.
Wow.
Yeah.
If you didn't know, chronic stiffness is a thing. So as part of my qualifications, as part of being a personal, a qualified personal trainer, mobility coach and all that, I'm also a stretch therapist.
Okay.
And meeting someone who is not only sad they can't play with their children, but sad they can't do their normal life, they can't hang out with their friends, they have to take medication at a particular time so that the pain...
You're basically in some prison of sorts. Yeah.
That makes me so sad. It makes me so sad. And now to say that all the 3 of them are off medication, by the time you're finishing 1 month, you don't need that medication anymore. You've learned to do a few things by yourself. You're a bit more independent. You can move, you can stretch, you feel joyful coming for the session. Now you're not dependent on that medication. What else would we want in life?
Yeah, that's a quality life. The reason I brought up the corporate space is just to bring back our viewers to previous episodes that we've done, where we have talked about severally about how we work with businesses at MNO Advocates, where I'm a partner. We support businesses and we usually advocate for, people to these passions that you have, you could actually start a business, and we encourage you to start it the right way. We work with you in that process. We, help you to think of structures that would work for you. And so that's something we do, and I'm very happy and proud to that, I'm sitting with women who are trying to do their things well, right? Because it helps your business grow. As long as you start it off well, it will grow in the right direction. You're not coming back to firefight and things of the sort. Also in this corporate space, we've met a couple of clients. In fact, we had some clients who initially were alcoholics, and then they then got better, and then it's a couple. Later they started their own rehab center. And so what we learned from them is that a lot of people in the corporate space are struggling with alcoholism and all this depression. This society, I think there's so much pressure, especially speaking from where I'm sitting as an advocate. Our profession has so much pressure. And so people are chasing all these things, and then it comes back and affects you. Living in this country as a working class person, there's so much pressure to at home, in the office, you're juggling all these many things, and sometimes maybe life can get get away from you, and then you'll get affected with all these issues that arise sometimes. What do you think is a way for people to be able to balance? I think both of you know that you're in these spaces and you've interacted with people who need that help. I'm sure you have to, Teresa. What is it that you would say, you would advise people growing up in the corporate space or out here working, you know, the middle class Kenyan, I mean the middle-aged Kenyan, how best can they take care of themselves to not get caught up in all this craziness?
Yeah. Thank you, Terry, for that question. I think it's very paramount that we discuss this question, this issue, especially in the corporate space, and the fact that we are living in this country with all the issues that we are facing.
Yeah.
We number one, I think the most important thing is to create awareness, bring awareness to the spaces in corporate or wherever that mental health issues are there.
Yeah.
And it affects our president, it affects a lawyer, it affects a doctor, it affects a fitness instructor, it affects everybody. First, can we have conversations about mental health and mental well-being? Can we not stigmatize mental illnesses? I have bipolar. You're crazy. You know?
That's what we would say.
I have schizophrenia. You need to be working this. You cannot be living in the space where there's organization and in a family where it seems to be working. We cannot do that. I feel like the first thing is to create awareness about mental health and mental health issues. Very important. Let people talk about how they're feeling. This is how you know how your mental health is. How are you feeling? Yeah. How long have you been feeling that? You know, has it affected your day-to-day living? Are you able to carry out your day-to-day tasks? Are you able to get up in the morning and go to work and come back and feel like you still have the energy to sit with your child and do an assignment or homework? Yeah, those are the things. Are you consistently meeting up with the boys for one for the road, two for the road, Monday to Monday? It's no longer a weekend issue. It's now a Monday to Monday issue.
It's almost like a need.
Yes, so the intensity, is it getting worse? It's getting worse. It's now affecting your day-to-day. You're getting letters from your employer, you know, absconding duty, coming to work drunk, you know, aggressive behavior. All these are indicators, you know, showing you that, hello, your body and your mind is trying to tell you something is not okay. Let's be cognizant of that fact. Let's be aware of that fact as well. Then in our corporate spaces, can we create that where people feel safe enough to say, I'm not okay. I'm struggling with this and this. I'm struggling with depression. My relationship at home is affecting my work. I've not talked to my mom for 10 years. What's going on here? You know, you're going to the gym because you have deep-seated anger. Where is it coming from? You know, and are we going to continue hitting are you going to box it out? We just need to understand that you cannot suppress and wish away your problems.
That's true.
You must come face to face with your problems in order for you to start working through them. And in that way, you're able to move past it and be in a better, healthier space. So I think let's create spaces in our corporates where first of all we have that, then let's create access to help. Let people see counselors, let your employees have access to counselors, have access to therapists, you know, let them have leaves, for goodness sake. Hello, how are we going to be working January to January without
with no breaks?
No, can we just be honest? And then this person who's always coming to work drunk, who's always coming to work with a black eye, who's always we need to take this person aside. Can you tell us what's going on? We want to hear what's going on. Then you can refer them to the help that they need. So we need to create that. Honestly, once we are able to normalize that mental health issues are here with
us.
And not stigmatize anybody who has a mental health issue, then we will have progressive conversations.
That's true.
And I think we'll be able to help everyone. Because as much as we are chasing the bag or chasing whatever we are chasing, at the end of the day, if you lose your mental health,
there's no bag you're chasing.
So exactly. Then what was the point of you working yourself to the ground?
There was no reason.
There was no point because at the end of the day, you cannot enjoy what you have worked for. Your children are going to not have a mommy who's stable. You know, your marriage will probably be in shambles. You have literally no relationship, and we are relational beings. We are created for relationships. So if you're not forming meaningful relationships, then I think you need to reevaluate. Utajiita mkutano. Then you ask yourself, okay, Linda, is this worth it? What's going on here? Is this something that I'm struggling with? And do I need help? Do I need support? Do I need to talk to someone about this? So I think in a nutshell.
Teresa, how do you incorporate physical fitness in your life so that, you know, for your whole wellness? The way you were talking about how it's not just about your appearance and whatnot. You know, there's all this mobility, you to have, you know, get rid of the pains that our bodies go through, especially as women. You know, there are these different phases that we go through. And so, of course, after birth and all that, our body changes.
They do.
So how would you advise, say, a young person whose life has changed, say a woman who's just had their baby, but they need to go back to work and, you know, they need to go back to some other form of themselves. How do you incorporate physical fitness in your everyday life?
So, scientifically, what is recommended is 150 minutes per week. That is all you need, and you would be ideally of good health. So there's so much you can do with 150 minutes, and there's so many ways in which you can look at 150 minutes. You could look at it as 30 minutes for 5 days in a week. Or you could look at it 3 times a week, which is 50, 50, 50. Either way, you're catered for. There are people who don't like the gym space, and that is all right. So there are things you can do. You can have a home program. Luckily, you have coaches like I to help you with that. You can also decide, I enjoy more outdoors, I enjoy more walking, so my 30 minutes, I'm going to put in a walk. And just do a walk. Just do a walk and then stretch, take a shower, and rest. That is all that is required of you.
So you don't need to be in the gym for 2 hours.
You really... It is a myth. The longer you work, the more results. Lies. Red alert. Also, people who incorporate like yourselves, you find yourselves seated longer than 8 hours. As a person who has done a desk job, I do know what that means. It means so much pain, sweetly wrapped in a paycheck at the end of the month. The paycheck is good. I'm not telling you to quit your job, but can you take care of yourself in that when the paycheck comes in, you can actually appreciate yourself rather than a paycheck coming in and then half of it is medical care. It beats logic completely. So the aspect of being seated the whole day does introduce a lot of illnesses to us. And sadly, as women, we tend to own those pains. Haven't you ever had mtu akisema hii mgongo yangu inakuanga tu hivi. Inakuanga tu hivi. Sijui ni nini mbaya na mimi, but kila time nikitembea hivi nasikianga
inakuanga tu hivi.
Inakuanga tu hivyo. I try to tell you, Terry, this is not how you should be living. Mimi nimekuwa tu hivi. Nimezoea.
Kubali matokeo.
Can you imagine how sad it is that you have normalized to live with pain? How sad can that be? People, please see a therapist.
It's crazy.
It is absolutely crazy. So when you, for my clients and people who seek my services, my first thing is not to introduce you to a dumbbell. Otherwise, just lift your baby at home, or just kasirika inua your meza weka ile side. If your problem is just to lift the things you have in the house, the problem really is that you're not moving better. So you're not feeling better and you're not feeling stronger. Your own body is capable of doing so much more and achieving such greatness, but you won't know that until you try, until you have a treasure in your life.
Until you have a treasure co-signed.
Exactly. Anyway, so the point here being, when I meet my clients, mine is to make you move better. So the mobility aspect comes in. You would ask what that is. It's just you being able to move better with no pain. It's you being able to squat all the way low without claiming my knees. Why are your knees coming in? We have grown up in with pit latrines, ushago. I mean, are you trying to tell me now if you went to your grandma's, you wouldn't use the pit latrine?
Support somebody.
Support. Wall and wall. You shouldn't have to do that. Just as it is easy for a child to go on the floor and roll about, it should be the same for you as an adult. And what joy it is when you're able to actually just do things by yourself. So I introduce people to mobility, moving better, feeling better, being strong in themselves, and then we can talk about, okay, now I don't want spaghetti arms, can we get you know, okay, my skirt is feeling better, but I'm kind of feeling jiggly here and there. Can we just patch these things up, you know? There's an aspect of fitness when new moms are involved, or when you're a mom again, you know. I don't know what it is we chase after, that you become pregnant, you give birth, and suddenly you want to go back to the person you were before pregnancy. Please. Why though? That body has been through a beating for 9 good months. It's carried an entire human being in it. Honestly speaking, it's not going back to where it was. What you can have is a better version of what you have.
Current body.
Okay? I'm not talking about the excess weight. That can go. You shouldn't be carrying that around. It's not necessary. It's like a burden. Don't carry it around. It's not necessary. Get rid of it. But at the same time, don't be stuck in a situation where you're wishing I'm 16 all over again. You're not gonna be 16. I hate to break it down to you again.
Oh my God, ladies.
Pregnancy comes with stretch marks. Please embrace them. They are beautiful.
Embrace them.
You know, pregnancy comes with a lot of uncomfortable things. You never needed to wear a bra before. Now you kind of have to touch up your girls every now and then. Embrace that. Now make it better, because you do have a good body. You can make it better, but not when you're obsessed about the past. We can make it better for now. So I, as a mom and a person who's been in the corporate world, and as a fitness trainer now, and as a mobility coach, as a stretch therapist, come to me with your pain, go away with a job.
Wow, what a good trade-off.
That's a good trade-off. And probably, just sorry to interject, Terry. I mean, mental health and physical fitness go hand in hand. I mean, every part of our being is interconnected in one way or another. Our bodies, our mind, our spirits, they are all interconnected. So if one part is struggling, the other parts also start to feel the struggle as well. That is why you start to have anger issues. You know, everybody now is like, hey, you and your, why are you wearing? You think all of us, you know, have a flat tummy like you, you know? So where is this anger? Yes, where is this anger coming? And then, you know, tutapatiwa mwili mbinguni.
That is very toxic.
This is a very toxic statement because you're basically just giving up. You're basically making excuses and you don't want to put in the work. So you're just like, you know what, Terry is putting in the work. It's okay, mimi nitapatiwa mbinguni. You don't want to do the same. And now you start to resent Terry. You know? out of absolutely nothing, and you have control over that situation yourself. So why wouldn't you say, okay, I also want? So fitness also and mental health is something, I mean, there have been numerous studies about fitness and mental health, and one of the things I also tell my clients and my patients is start moving. You know, this sedentary lifestyle that we have all embraced and we all are happy about. We are always on our phones, we are always on our gadgets, we are always in front of the TV, in front of the computer. We move from point A to B using a car. Can we ditch that lifestyle and start walking, start cycling, start jogging? It doesn't cost you anything. Gyms are so expensive nowadays. You don't need to go to the gym.
You can go out and walk.
And it will tremendously improve your mental health. You know, your concentration levels improve. Your attention to detail improves. Like everything, your sleep.
Sleep.
People are not sleeping.
People are not, that's true.
People are sleep hygiene. Gadget on their phone. You will never have quality sleep that way. You know, caffeine, an hour before you sleep. Never have quality sleep.
Never.
A drink or two, a puff or two before you expect to sleep.
You can't.
You cannot. You cannot. Can we not force our system to work against how it has been created to work? Once we embrace and we are like, okay, my body needs rest. How do I help my body to get rest? I don't do these things. It's called sleep hygiene in therapy. I don't do these things right before I sleep. Then let's just show up for ourselves. I feel it's so unfortunate that we have given up in life and we're like, you know, life is so hard. Like, I'm struggling with this, I'm struggling with this. I can't. I can't.
This economy.
Why don't you just determine and be deliberate and intentional and say, I want to give it my best shot. I want to show up in my life the best
version
way.
of myself.
The best way. And in that way, you're helping yourself and you're also helping your loved ones around you.
Teresa, you were talking about myths. You mentioned a myth. I'm interested to find out what are these myths you guys hear.
Oh my gosh.
Just as I was saying in a previous episode, people assume all lawyers go to court, including my dad, who every time I miss his call, and then I call him back. He's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I know you were in court. I'm like, Daddy, I am not a court-going advocate. Like, so what are these myths that you hear, and so that we know, and then they can be demystified, basically.
So in fitness, there are quite a number. The one that you will always hear at every knock at the gym's door is no pain, no gain. It's a lie, it's a lie, it's a lie. You don't need pain to gain anything in life. Why are we living in pain? Why? Why is pain involved in this equation
story,
of gaining? Do I have to be in pain to gain? So no pain, no gain, really, honestly.
No.
It's just, please no. Please, if it involves pain, me, I'm going the other side. I don't want any pain. But that is not to say there's not uncomfortable feelings when you do things you're not comfortable with. The other is the longer you work out, the more time you put in, the better the results. It's a lie. Spend 3 hours in the gym, you and the person who did 45 good workout, 45 minutes good workout, your same was up group and you're worse because you're not rested. You haven't nourished. Same was up group. Or to lose weight, you have to be on a diet. No. Lie. Lie.
Wow. God. Ladies.
Another one, the best one, and I like, not because I actually believe in it. I like it because people do believe unless you juice, that porch is going nowhere. It's a lie, people. Please eat your spinach.
Hey, and the way I just water juice.
Eat your fruits. Eat your fruits. Don't do all these things. They are fads. They come, they go. You do it, then you'll get to that particular weight, and then what's the sustainability plan?
It's not sustainable.
But in your house, you will always have ugali, you will always have rice, you will always have mboga, you will always have nyama. But now for 21 days, you're not going to have that because you want a flat tummy to fit into a dress. Thankfully, you will fit into it. And then on the 22nd day, what happens? You know, the best one, no, don't lift. You look like a man.
Yeah, that one even me I've heard.
You have had
for
it.
The longest time.
I am here 9 years later trying to look like a man. Man, it's hard. It's hard.
It's genetically impossible.
It's genetically impossible.
Yeah.
Trying to look like a man for
It's
a very
not
long time.
working.
It's not working. It's not working. So no, you will not look like a man.
Yeah.
Go to the gym, lift the weights. Your children need a strong mom. Really.
Yeah.
Imagine your kids going like, don't call mom, she can't lift that.
Yeah,
Call dad. Really?
Yeah.
It is just a mtungi of 20 liters for Pete's
She
sake.
can't do it.
She can do it. It's mom. Baby girl treatment. Okay,
Please.
get the baby girl treatment, but please
the mtungi.
be strong.
Yeah.
Be strong because that is how you're able to uphold yourself. When you hear something about fitness, read about it, understand it. Is it something you really want to do?
Yeah.
It's like fashion. It comes and goes. The basics, actually, we're just having a chat with Dad before, is that the basics will always remain. Nourish your body. So eat what you need to eat. Your body knows what it needs. Don't stuff yourself.
Yeah.
Drink your water.
Yeah.
Do an exercise.
True.
Move a bit more. Sleep. You know, practice what it is that you practice to be well with yourself. See a therapist.
Yes.
Go do meditation. Journal. Do something that makes you go back into yourself. Stretch.
Yes.
You know, be wholesome. Sleep 7-8 hours. You're good.
Yeah.
You really will not need a doctor.
Yeah.
But sleep for 2 hours. Don't do any fitness. Just own your pot belly. Like ini mali yangu. In mali yangu. And as a woman, go like, this is evidence. I have children.
Please.
Please. Leave my pot out of it. This is my children. Just leave it. Really, you don't have to. Do you know, there's such a good feeling when you tell people, I have 2 kids.
They're like, really? I'm like, yeah.
Get out of here. Like, oh yeah, I do. I'm so humble. No, I'm not. I'll rub it on your face. It is a good thing. So let nobody lie to you that looking a particular way is a bad thing. It is a beautiful thing.
Because actually, now that you say that, there's, you know, people almost try to shame anyone who tries to take care of themselves.
Yes,
exactly.
Therapy and you know, physical fitness. People, it's like our society. It's what you're saying. It's maybe people are carrying. You have your own insecurities which you are not working on. And then now the person who's working on there, you project
that onto them.
Lately, I've seen a trend lately in our social media spaces, and this is the saddest thing. People are. I am not saying it is. If you're overweight, it is a bad thing because you might have gotten there because maybe of a medical condition, maybe of one reason or the other beyond your control. You could have gotten there and there's a way out of it. But now you getting there, getting comfortable, and then shaming a kinati who are taking care of themselves, that is absolutely not right.
It's bullying.
It is bullying.
Which is a dysfunctional
and it is a dysfunctional
that you need to come and see me about.
Exactly. You really can't be on social media going like, oh, my fupa, owning it, and just
it's fupa.
You know, they call it's called that, and you know, it is okay to have a fupa. It is fine. I'm not shaming you for it. It's okay if you're comfortable with it. That is okay. But please, I am comfortable with my small stomach. Just leave me alone. Really, my stomach was just chilling.
Waiting for lunch.
It was waiting for lunch. You watch it too. You know, if you're comfortable being a plus size, that is okay.
That's fine.
And you can actually be fit in your size.
That's true.
You know, you don't have to look like me. You don't, we are very, very, very different. But then don't feel like it is necessary for you to make someone who is smaller than you are.
Feel bad about it.
And if you're small, don't feel like it's really necessary to make someone who's bigger than you feel something different about themselves. We are all very wonderfully created. And we can be fittest in our very own versions because we can. That's it. Are you moving better? Are you able to do things? Are you able to play with your kids? Are you living a fulfilled life?
True.
Are your all signs from the doctor telling you green light, you're healthy? What else are you chasing after? It should be okay for you to be okay. There's another one, sorry to take a bit longer, the assumption that when you go to the gym, it's to lose weight. I went to the gym to gain weight. Will you believe me?
Wow, I know one other person, just one other person who did that.
My aim of going back to the gym is just so I can gain weight, people. You give birth and then 4 months down the line, you're back to 49 kilos. And then, you know, women of guild, they're like, oh, you're not ukunywi uji. Unafaa ama akulishi. Siku hizi anunui chakula.
Kama umeanza kuteseka.
Kuna shida.
Tunaweza kukuombea. Those conversations, and they would come so much on my face. I went like, there must be something wrong with me. How comes everybody who's given birth has gained weight? And I'm not gaining weight. What is wrong with me? And I will eat. I eat. What is wrong with me? So I started looking at myself like I am the problem. And I'm like, okay, maybe it's because it's the first baby. The first baby, you know, the body bounces back. Maybe the second child, I'm going to pack on something nice. Get the second child, you get the weight. Kidogo tu, miezi 2, miezi 3, miezi 6, back to 49. Surely. I was only getting to enjoy my 60s. Surely. Do we have to go back? So it's the frustration of you are underweight, you are trying to gain weight, and you're going to the gym, and we call you out for that. Honestly speaking, it's completely unfair. Completely unfair and very unnecessary. So every one of us who go into that space, we go into that space because we are looking for something different.
Everyone has their own journey.
Lately, and in my workout groups, I've created a very happy community. And it is just so interesting that someone was going to miss their workout today, and they're like, no, I will miss my goodbye video. I'm just going to the gym just to be told goodbye. That's it. I don't feel like waking up. I am tired. I am exhausted. I don't want to. But then you think about the happy people you meet there. Everybody's working out. Everybody's like, kwa nini wewe you're not suffering like I am suffering. You make such a happy community. And you're like, I want to come back for this. It's a little part of my day that makes my day. I want to have a part of this. So honestly, go to the gym. It's not about gaining weight or losing weight. It's about moving better, being better, feeling better, being wholesome, really, and just being aware that you have deep-seated issues, so you can see a therapist.
And Linda, you can tell us now
some of the
myths that you hear in your world.
The first one that I think is absolutely crazy to me is that if I don't need therapy because I'm not crazy.
Wow.
You know, therapy is for crazy people, the people that are walking on the streets naked and beating people up.
And unfortunately, we grew up believing that.
And you're speaking to yourself, and you're, you know, hearing voices and things. That qualifies you for therapy. And we said at the beginning of this episode
that's not the case.
Therapy is for all of us. The second thing about therapy, of course, it's again with our gender roles. It's for women.
I was going to ask you that.
Yes, it's for women, and it's not men. You know, wako strong. They can handle their issues. Men are not in the business of trying to sit down with anybody to discuss their issues and cry about it. That's not how they were raised, and it really just goes back to socialization as well. However, let me tell you something so alarming. Statistics have shown that men now the highest percentage of people that are now dealing with depression and actually go into suicide are men. They are increasingly becoming more and more because they are unable to manage their mental health. So this is alarming, you know, and also just what are we teaching our children as well? Our boy children, our little boys, are we telling them you cannot cry, you cannot have anxiety, you cannot feel depressed, you can't express that,
your feelings?
Yes, you just take it in as a man. And the other myth is that the more you suppress, the more you push it in, it will disappear. That's not how we are created.
You don't wash it down.
This is not how we are created. Anything that affects you has to have an outlet. This is why alcoholism is increasing, substance use is increasing, reckless behavior is increasing. All these crazy things we hear left, right, and center is because we don't have healthy outlets. Our coping mechanisms are maladaptive. They are unhealthy. And because you have been socialized in a certain way, therapy is the last thing on your mind. The absolute last thing. I will die with my problems. And sure, you shall.
You will die.
Yeah. Sure. You shall. You continue with that alcoholism, it will take you to the grave. You continue with that substance use, it will take you to the grave. You continue with your reckless behavior, it will take you to the grave. This is their reality. That's why I feel like it's important you owe it to yourself to try and fix your life. Please, you owe it to yourself, not for anybody else. You owe it to yourself to try and figure this thing out. Try and figure out where the issue is. Try figuring out, what do I need to do to move past this? What do I need to do to feel happy, to feel at peace, to feel contented, to feel that I am living a quality life. So therapy is for all of us. Human, that is the qualification, nothing else.
If you tick that box.
The other thing is that, you know, therapy is for the Western world. It's not for us. That's a myth as well. Therapy is for all, so long as you're human. White, green, blue, black, whatever.
Again, back to
humanity, we need it as well. And then the other myth that's so interesting is that, you know, like therapy, like I don't need anyone to tell me how to lead my life or to how to live it out. Like I know my life. You, like, why would Linda know my life? Like I know my life. Yes, I know my life. So what are you trying to tell me? That's a lie. Sometimes because you're in a situation, because you're going through a mental health issue, you have a tunnel vision. And everything is coming at you from all directions. So automatically your thought processes are skewed to be very negative in nature. It's my fault, it's self-defeating, I will not amount to anything, it's hopeless, it's not progressive, it's retrogressive. So that's why you need therapy, to give you a different perspective of why you're in the space you're in and how to get and navigate yourself out of that to be in a better space. And there are so many others. And I'm sure maybe some of our viewers maybe can comment and tell us some of the myths that they've had about therapy and what have you. And nowadays, now it's like a hip thing, you know, like it's in, it's trending, you know, but you need to just jiite mkutano. Why really are you going for therapy? You know, sincerely speaking. You know, why is it because all my friends are going for therapy? It's the in thing. They are all doing it. Or do you really want to be in a better headspace? You need to progress with your life. You really know that you have issues from your past that are clearly affecting your present and probably your future.
Because you're talking about mental health and wellness, I wanted to know from you guys, what are these things that you do for yourselves that you feel, hey, when I do this thing, I just feel like I have taken care of myself, I'm in a better mind space. You know, when you're feeling down, what is this thing that you do?
So for me, on a daily basis, I have what you would call a ritual, and I have to do it. Otherwise, I will not be in a good headspace to even help the people who come to me.
Yeah.
As a person, I don't do peopling very well. Strange that you should hear that and you always see me bubbly.
Yeah.
If I don't take care of myself, then the bubbly will be left somewhere quiet, chilling, waiting for bubbliness to come out. So on a daily basis, I wake up very early in the morning, I do my prayers, I do my planning, and I do an outline of what I'm going to do in that particular day. And this is something I've done for a very long time.
Yeah.
My mama taught us to wake up so early. Yeah. So at 3 a.m. before the jogo goes kukuliku,
I'm
already
up.
And I'm upbeat in the morning. So I try and do as much as I can in the morning, because trust you me, when it hits 2 p.m., now we are starting to go back into, we woke up too early. Maybe we should be sleeping right now.
Your mind starts
So the mind starts shutting down. By the time it gets to 7:30, please don't call me for anything important. My husband knows this. Anyone who's close to me, they know this. I don't make commitments past 7 p.m. I will not remember. 1. 2, I will just tell you yes to get away from you, because right now at that particular moment, all I want is go back into my into my
you've given out enough already.
So when I do that on a daily, I find that it is easier for me to take on new people. You'll come to me, because basically
We're a form of counselor.
I am a counselor in a way. I listen to some issues. I'm like, so here, this is what we do. We do our session, and then I will share a number of our therapists. Because anyway, you need someone to take you into that space. And also, I am a trainer. I am a personal trainer, and I really love my job, and I love working with you on that particular aspect. I don't want to be in your life in a deeper capacity, because then that is heavy on me.
Sure.
And then we don't know how this relationship is going to end and how you might end up feeling. But when you see a professional about your issues, it becomes a whole lot better. My clients can tell you, those that I've told, kidogo difficult, but I have a way out. So I'm like Nakumat, all under one roof. Not that you will actually buy it within the roof, but I know a guy who knows a guy. Okay, and that's how you solve your problems. So that is what I do on a daily. But every month, I enjoy long drives. I will enjoy to just go for a long drive. I will find myself in Eldoret for no particular reason, and all I want is to pass by the roads and buy roasted maize and eat roasted maize on my way and back. That is all, and I feel very nice about it. And of course, as time goes by and as time allows, the beach is another very beautiful place to be. Really nice. And I know that it sounds very, very selfish coming from me, because I am a parent. No, my children are not my safe space.
Thank you for saying it out loud.
For sure. I want my children to know they are independent. You make a decision, it's a poor decision, there's a consequence for it. But I won't let you do that if I'm busy masking my own.
Not dealing with your own
stuff. Not dealing with my own stuff. I will not be able to help you deal with your own stuff. So many times, even when they come to me and it's just my moment to unwind, I'll be like, Levi, no, right now, it's mommy's time. Like, how many minutes do you need? I'm like, 20? Good. So they'll give me 20 minutes. And then after 20 minutes, they come. The space is ready for them. A way of letting them know
that you also have.
You do have. As a mother, you do have that. As a mom of sons, I find that it is very challenging to teach boys what women should be. Because for Pete's sake, I grew up knowing I was a woman, but the society taught me how to be one. And now that I'm older, a whole lot of that is skewed.
True.
I'm like, this is not what I want my kids to have. There's no, but unless I go back into my space and I'm able to show them a better version, then they won't know a better version.
They wouldn't.
They just go out there looking for a woman who is like their mother, who works for 17 hours in a day, sleeps for 2 hours in a day, takes care of everyone. Who knows of a mother who sleeps before everybody else?
None.
I do know one. I am one. You know, it's just going back into that space and just, you know, trying to create a better version of yourself. So I do this on a daily, I do this on a monthly basis, or as time allows. Journaling is one of those things that I've lately picked. It's really, 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 really nice. And I know people who do meditation, much respect to them. I'm trying to get into that space. But what in the day, like I've had a very heavy morning of laughter and joy, and I feel like I just need to offload of that. I will go into the studio and stretch a good one. Man, stretching is healing. You have no idea.
You had it here.
It is healing. You'll go in, you'll do an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours later, a client calls you like, oops. I had that session, I got carried away. So it's the thing I enjoy, it's the thing I love. I absolutely love being in that space of being able to move, being able to do things, being able to just go back into my space. Because when I do that, then I'm able to accommodate.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
And for you, Linda?
For me, number one, I see a therapist. So the other myth is therapists don't
need therapists.
I do see a therapist myself. One, because of my work, I do need somewhere I can offload. There's actually, it's a professional requirement in therapy actually, for a therapist to see another therapist. We call it supervision. So I see a therapist, that's one. And because I am also a deeply spiritual person, I cater to that. I pray, I read the word, I meditate, I have a moment as well to be by myself and to connect with my higher self or with a higher being. So I do that. That helps me a lot. I try to work out. Teresa, believe it or not.
I do believe you.
You do, right?
There's no reason I should believe you.
Absolutely, I do. So I try and work out. I enjoy running. And I do come from the home of champions. So
it's in your genes.
So it's in my genes. So I run. I do morning runs a lot. That helps me a lot with my mental health and my self-care and what have you. And once in a while, like I can do a spa. I have a girls' day. You know, I glam up, I make my nails and all that. I do that. But what I have found to really be important and of help to me personally is I pride myself in saying that I am a recovering people pleaser. I'm a recovering people pleaser. I found people pleasing to be such a toxic trait that so many of us have. We live for other people. It's never about you. If you went back into your space and asked what you wanted, what would make you happy, what is it that makes you you, you would be so surprised that you will not come up with even half a page. Because all your life, you're living for other people. It starts with our socialization, how we were raised, you know, our African culture, you know, it rewards people pleasing. It rewards and it actually frowns upon giving back to yourself and being authentic in your own space. So I've really had a lot of time to also learn to set boundaries. You know, things that are not for me are not for me. And I will let go of them easily. We are not all going to be millionaires. Can we accept that? Hello? Not all of us are going to be that. I don't know who are these rich people in this world, because it doesn't even like hit my head, you know? Like we are not, just because you feel like if I had $1 million in the bank, if I had this type of car, if I had this type of house, it will make you happy, is a fallacy. Because happiness is not and it's not materialistic. It is in being comfortable and in accepting yourself for who you are, and being in that space and being able to evolve to the best version of yourself. Simple. And the other thing is, there's space for all of us. Why are we competing again? Why? Just because I came to MNO just legal doesn't mean, oh my God, Linda's practice is going to take off until now. MNO CC. Why did we allow her? Why did we give her that platform? Why was she on our channel? You know, why is supporting each other and lifting each other up a bad thing? You know, like there are so many things that are skewed, that if we started to authentically listen to who we are and move by that, we would be in much happier spaces. We would be supportive of each other. We would be receiving of help, and we'll be able to also give, because now our cups are full as well. So it's important. It's important for us to always go back to ourselves, have those difficult conversation, retrospect, have time with yourself, figure out who you are. Where is this anger coming from? Why am I irritated? Why am I feeling low? Why? Just ask yourself those questions. Where is it coming from? Then can we address the root cause and not be the person that is lashing out to others and affecting the space of other people? Yet you can be responsible for yourself. And say, you know what? Because I am feeling a type of way, I need a minute. I need 2 minutes. I need 20. Yes, I need 20. I need time. Why? Because if I present like this, I'm going to hurt 1, 2, 3 people. So it is important. People pleasing, please figure that out. Secondly, set boundaries. Boundaries are set to protect you. It's not for other people. It's protecting you, protecting your sense of peace, protecting your comfortability, protecting your space. Set boundaries. That I can't do. I'm sorry. Beyond here, I'm incapable of moving past that. I can only have this on my plate. You know, because it's so weird that overworking is like a badge of honor now. You know, we are working ourselves, not resting. Oh my God, I'm doing 1,000,001 jobs. Oh, I wear many hats. I just like, why? Why? There's space for all of us. All of us have a space we can occupy. Occupy it and be content in that space.
Thank you, ladies. I think you answered what I was finally going to ask about why you think it's important to get therapy. I think that answers it. Maybe to wrap up, Teresa, you can tell us why you think physical fitness is important for us, and finally where we can get you on your social media pages.
So physical fitness is important for all of us, whether you're disabled or able differently, whether you're mentally well or mentally unwell. We all need physical activities. We all need to be physically well. Because it not only makes you feel better about yourself, it helps your body. It helps with your movements. It helps with everything else, even your digestion. It's all dependent upon the movements that you do. So you do need physical activities. You do need exercises to be good, to be well, to be healthy. We shouldn't always depend upon a doctor. You know, you should know when a headache calls for a Panadol, and it calls for a glass of water and a chill away from. You should be able to do those things for yourself. But you mostly need it to be able to, you know, tie your shoe. Why not? Zip your own dress from behind. Why not? You know, you should be able to wear your jeans, wear your vest tops. Just be comfortable in yourself. So if you want to be comfortable, you're not comfortable, you want to be comfortable, get onto a physical. It boosts your mood. It boosts your confidence to a dangerous level. I have to tell you, I have to warn you. Really, I should have put that as a disclaimer. The moment you learn the abilities within you, you become a dangerous person.
For sure.
You become unstoppable.
Wow.
You achieve your goals. You set targets. You hit them. You go after that what makes you happy. And you do it unapologetically. And then the society catches up later.
Yes.
Now, anyway, so I fully practice at AV Fitness. It's on Bazi Avenue in Lavington. Feel free to find me there. I'm mostly there. I'm not employed by the gym, but I'm mostly there. And my mornings start very early at 4:45 a.m. And depending on demand, I can finish later in the day. But sometimes I have early evenings, sometimes I have late evenings because my client couldn't turn up in the morning, but she's free in the evening, so I will make time for her because I can sleep when she wasn't here, so I can delay my sleep later. You can find me on my socials, Trizam Dengani.
I'll tag it below.
I'll tag it. So Trizam Dengani on Facebook, on IG. You know, find me on TikTok. Let's talk. Let me know how I can help you. And if you visit that page for the last 1 week, 2 weeks now, we've been talking about matters. I have been talking about matters regarding women. Things like vaginal prolapse, things that you don't normally hear, things like your pelvic floor, the health of them, you don't normally think about that, and things that you can do even at home to help you, you know, not constantly be aware of, I gave birth to a child. An entire human being came out of me. So feel free to reach out, feel free to drop me an inbox or a DM. I'm quite happy to engage and just hear what it is that you have to say. But mostly, I'm looking forward to helping you move better.
Awesome.
Nice.
Where do we get you, Linda?
Well, I did not mention I work and reside in Eldoret. So where you can get me now is Trans Elgon Specialist Hospital in Daima Towers, Mezzanine 4. That's where you'll get me. That's where the group practice is emerging. It's there. It's emerging. I'll be happy to hear from anybody. And in the era of online and virtual meetings, you don't have to come all the way to Eldoret. I mean, you can get me. I'm sure we will tag my number. You will tag my social media pages, and you'll be able to reach out. I'm here for therapy. Just a phone call away, a DM away, a text away. I am here for you. I am very professional. You will not hear anything on the streets.
I can attest.
This is the other myth, you know. These two therapists are not serious.
They are not confidential.
They are not professional. And then you are not going to be a therapist if you do a 2-week course on HIV. Ouch. And HIV management. I'm sorry. Let's put respect to the profession.
No, you had it.
Let's put respect to the profession. We go to school, we learn. Yes. We go through exams, we pass, we have a board, we are licensed.
You're regulated.
Please do your homework. MNO is here. Please. Let them tell you the therapists that are licensed and are actually legit. Don't just be going to anybody. This is your life. You're not going to just anybody who will start telling you, bring a red chicken, bring a white That is witchcraft and not therapy. Okay? Yes. So let's do it the right way. And I do want to commend MNO because they're all about doing things right. Run your businesses right. Let your structures be in check. Do your due diligence. Let your things be known and out here so that we can really help each other in the right way. Let's avoid shortcuts, good people. It doesn't lead us anywhere. You have to do the whole lap at the end of it all. So I'm really grateful.
And you know, I'm sorry to come back to this because a huge assumption out here is that small businesses, I mean, you're just starting, you're collecting your money. Who needs Zakayo at this particular point? But it is through actually the MNO podcast that even before I took the space that I took in, I was listening to you and Liz
me
talking.
Too.
I'm like,
wait,
what?
Thank you.
very informative. Very informative.
Thank you.
That was amazing.
And because of MNO
yeah,
and the advices that I've gotten from the page itself, I did not end myself in partnerships that could probably have ruined a huge thing coming. And really, it's just, I should say, safe space for people starting up and wondering, so what do I do from here now? So anyone out there really looking for free legal advice, just go into that page. No, we pay for consultation.
Free, they go to the page.
Then
you
come. Then you come.
For consultation. And it could just be, in fact, initially, you don't even need to know what it is exactly you want to do. Let's just come and consult and have a conversation. Get the understanding, go, then come again now once you are certain about what you want to do. But thank you so much, ladies. This was a very insightful conversation. I'm sure it will be helpful to our listeners. And even for myself, I've learned quite a lot from both of you, so thank you for that. As we've said, we'll tag your information below, so I'm sure clients will come flooding in.
And doors are open.
Yeah.